We are live. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. In case you all don't know, if this is your first time viewing us, I am Tagg, holistic artist, and all about me will be in the description below. And this is
Hi. I am sorry, I'm just trying to look something up real quick, but my name is Tracy and I am with the Mother House. It is a FBO, PMA, and much more. Um, and if you don't know what those are, look them up. And I deal with the shadow mostly, I would say. Anything anybody doesn't want to talk about, that's what I am. That's what the medicine I hold and am projecting into the world. So death, sex, taxes, that kind of shit. Yeah. So if you don't want to look at those things, then it's not time. But it will be time. Bet your bottom dollar. At some point in your life, it will be time to look at that. So you can run, but you can't hide. I love saying that.
Yeah. Well, as you know, we're in the strawberry full moon energy.
Oh, yeah. Yes, because you know why I know that? Because I'm going strawberry picking. I love berry picking. It's like one of my faves.
Awesome. We had a strawberry festival last Saturday, and you gotta live the sweet with the bitter.
I'm curious, do you know what the full moon was in tropical, in mainstream astrology?
No, I don't.
Sign? Oh, okay. It was in Sagittarius in the system I do, but I just wanna see really quick. Hold on, what tropical. So yeah.
Yeah, when this is where I shift gears. For me, when we are addressing individual cycles coming to a completion, that's when I do alignment under the sidereal astrology, because
I love it when they both align. They're both inside and Sagittarius, so that's nice.
Yeah. It aligns with the root, with you as an individual. So when this full moon energy has made its completion, you have a better understanding about yourself for setting new intentions for the new moon coming up, and seeing that manifest in your current environment, which is more so tropical. So
yeah, well, what I feel with the full moon, kind of just to kind of build off of what you're talking about, it all depends on how powerful of the energy is in the height of the full moon, because the week after is where you're like implementing that. And sometimes I feel like I'm so enthralled. I can see myself, right? So I'm like, is my blush weird? Okay. You're so enthralled, you're so encapsulated, or at least this is for me, and maybe other people can resonate with this, but I'm so encapsulated with the height of the full moon and like almost still in this like fight or flight mode in what just happened, right? That I forget to, ground and incorporate it in a healthy manner. It's more of like this chaotic Oh, well, like rushed. It's almost, I guess that would be the word I'd put on it. It feels rushed. And then I get to the new moon and I'm like, oh, shoot. Oh, I wish I could rewind time and remember to ground. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, that's why I go completely inner, because I want to see my external environment match and align with my goals versus the other way around. I don't want to hand myself over to the world in the chaotic mess that it's in without grounding practices in place, because that's what keeps me sane. It keeps me whole. And people wonder why, why are you always smiling? Why are you so happy? Why are you, what is it that you have that I don't? And that opens up a conversation for me.
I love that. I love that about you. It helps me remember that those ritual ceremony in our inner self and in our inner world, before or whenever we possibly can. And I think I touched on this a little bit with some of the inner work I was doing, like after I woke up. Sometimes I guess my morning routine is a little bit different. Most of the time it's like either I'm getting up to meditate or I'm getting straight up because I'm starving and I don't know what the hell happened last night. But this morning, very rarely, I'm like, I'm just gonna lay in bed.
Yeah.
It's like a weekend. It wasn't really like a weekend, but I was like, I need to not rush to get out of bed today. And I sat there and kind of went through a bunch of astrological points. I do sidereal astrology, and so I was just kind of aligning it with the transits for the next 3 months for me, because it's going to be a really interesting summer. And I have known this for a while for me. But over the last month or two, I have needed to, and I think even now, but I feel like some of the fear has left, because when you get the knowledge of it, it takes some of the fear out of it, right? It's like, it's not even the knowledge. I don't want to say it's the knowing, because when you're connected to the divine, you know when you know.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I did some of that, and I can't remember the reason why I was telling this to begin with, but it's
yeah, you're getting ready to tell me what your pivot was recently.
Let's just say I came into this world, and shortly after I came into this world, my a sibling came, and then another sibling, and then shortly, a bit longer after that, another sibling. But the theme of my life seems to have evolved around this relationship between me and the middle child, my sister. And this type of energy recently reappeared over the last couple of days. Not my sister, but something that triggers that awareness in me. And so I panicked a bit, because I was like, I don't want this anymore now. And just like when I met the devil. Well, I met the devil quite a few times, but the last time when I got really close to the devil, I had to lean in and see what I was afraid of, because it wasn't the devil that I was afraid of. It was my own fear and what I have conjured up from whatever, experiences and stories, all
Yeah.
that shit, right? And so I think we all need to have a relationship with the angel and the devil on the shoulders within ourselves.
Absolutely.
And then we can relate to and figure out what we need to allow in and what we need to, you know, question in the world.
Right.
And so it was almost like and I'm going to give this analogy. It was almost like I was set on fire. And
Okay.
I'm like trying to like put it out the fire, right? And then after this is really interesting because I had recently I had awareness of this analogy with another person, which was they thought their dress was. I had this vision that they thought their dress was on fire, and when they turned around to really look at it, it was actually just a red spot on their dress. It was like it wasn't on fire, but they thought it was on fire. And I kind of got to that place where, Tracy, you're not on fire. You're okay. Right. So now I have to get clear, right? And the thoughts that are coming through and connect that to the response that my body is having.
Yeah.
And try and figure out what is going on here. And it's a pivotal moment for me because what is coming up is a clarity that I've never had with it before, right? So like we kind of cycle through these karmic patterns over and over again, and then we get to a place where we're ready. It's ready. I feel like it's ready. I'm ready to like either bring it in and incorporate it in a new way or release it for good.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm feeling fear. I'm right. Like I still don't know. I have a faith in a higher power, God, whatever I want to call that, a vagina. But I still don't know because the ending is going to be different than from what I have always experienced because I've never gotten past the threshold of feeling like I was on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm feeling right now. You know what I'm feeling? I'm going to a friend's house today and I'm going to swim in her saltwater pool, which is really interesting because I don't know, I was either talking to ChatGPT or pulled a card or something, and it said, cleanse yourself with salt water. And I was like, okay, got that on the list already. Check.
Yeah.
So I'll just open it up. Yeah.
It's wow, we're so in sync because I was speaking to someone earlier today and she was telling me, I just have this overwhelming feeling of fear. She said she was afraid to be poor, afraid to be successful, afraid to be alone, afraid to be in a committed relationship. She was just fearful all the way around. And so, being the practitioner that I am, I mean, I will find different methods to get to the root cause of the fear because it's never just one straight path. It's like it spirals. It can spiral up for change, growth, vitality, renewal, or it can spiral down, shadow, chaos, havoc, all that devil energy that keeps you bound in a vicious cycle of, fear. So we're definitely in sync with that. And um, anyway, moving on, because, I'm working with that with her. Moving on, I have to look at my own as well. And without the grounding practices that I do, the routines that I have, so I can be on autopilot and be able to receive the information to help others. This full moon energy is wrapping up actually 3 cycles that I was dealing with, and one of them you helped me with the energy healing that you did when you said that there was a energy present of jealousy. Well, you know me pretty well. I'm not jealous of anyone. There's nothing else or no one else I want to be or have other than myself. I knew that wasn't my energy, and I was able to get confirmation about that. It was a whole hug and release session.
I love that.
And so my a family member had called me and confirmed, "Oh yeah, you know your mother don't give a shit about you, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, obviously." I mean, she has her way of showing love and affection and attention. And, it had me clear out, hug and release that lingering energy of that jealousy energy, because I knew that wasn't mine. Especially when I help people set their lives up to win, to excel, succeed, to grow, I knew that wasn't mine. And the second one that had wrapped up was the energy that you had detected, that I'm the man, I know everything and do what I say. And, you remember that. And so that also came to a completion. And yeah, I felt it energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, all the above. And things were, chronic pain was leaving my body. I feel good. I mean,
You look good. You look good.
yeah, I look clean, don't I?
You look like
Refreshed.
you are, well, what they say, 75% full. They say only be 75% full, so you have that 25% to bring in new energy or dabble in the world. And so yeah, it's good.
And so, which brings me to the last one. And this is my situation. I don't tend to have a lot of chaos and confusion going on in my life. That's just not something that I deal with on a regular basis. It comes up when it comes up, but I squash it as soon as I possibly can when it's in my awareness. So, I had mentioned about the apartment complex that I'm currently staying in, and that whole situation, and giving the leasing agent another chance to redeem herself. And sure enough, she didn't, because I went back, even after leaving a voicemail message, still didn't hear anything back from her. But I know that the higher ups received it, because as I was walking through the lobby, the management had greeted me kind of in a apologetic, is it
Apologetic, yeah.
apologetic kind of way, not knowing me, brand new management. But I understood the management and her energy simply because she knew she had to do damage control on every single person that walked through that door. That's a resident here. I get it. I understand it, So she made it a point to introduce herself to me, and I started to address, my situation. And the leasing manager, or assistant, I don't know her title, but she cut in right away to pass the accountability on to the previous manager. She was not going to own up to her accountability. She didn't want to be accountable for all the running around and sidestepping that she did, all the lies,
Some people, once you start with a lie, it's very difficult to end with the truth.
To keep it up. Yes, exactly. She had every opportunity. It's not like it wasn't given to her. She had every opportunity to take accountability. And it just would have went as this, my apology for dropping the ball on this. We've had a transition in management, and moving forward, you can speak to so-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe she wasn't sorry. Maybe she really wasn't sorry, and she was just like, I'm not going to apologize because I ain't sorry.
Well, the apology is neglecting her job. The sorry
Some
is
people don't care. Some people are protected by the dark energy. I don't know if that
true.
resonates with you, but I have come to
downloads from shadow as well. But the sorry comes from a self-projection type of situation. And yeah, it looked worse for her when she passed it over. Like, I'm not going to take ownership of this, which is her business. I mean, she has every right to do whatever she feels is right. That's her free will.
It does, but at the same time, Tagg, let's just break this down in a corporate sense, because and in the mainstream business world, because these are the type of things that I dealt with when I was in the places that I worked at, and came to moments in time with people in power that were clearly lying. Clearly. Yes. And I'm like, okay. And it was protected by the business because they encourage that type of behavior because whatever, it has money behind it usually, right? And this person is willing to devote their life to evil. Not her per se, but like on a whole level, right? And then everybody has a component of that. But what I realized in watching this and kind of in living it was that it's all about, and you know what, and actually, and I'll even say this, and participating in it and not even knowing, I didn't know that I was feeding the machine. I didn't know. And I probably had quite a few encounters with people, let's say, clients or whatever, because I worked in medical, who was like she's a liar, like, you know what I mean, to me, even because I was like doing what I thought was necessary to protect the company.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Because I'm like, oh God, but not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not like, malicious in my behavior in the medical or anything like that. Like, I'm legitly very honest. But from their perspective and being on the other side of things, I'm sure it could have looked like either I was lying or whatever, right?
Yeah. I get it. So coming back around full circle, these cycles they've been completed.
Oh, good.
Now there hasn't been a new solution presented for the apartment thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it came to an end because now there's a new management company. Not to say that anything is going to get better and may get worse, you know.
It sounds like you are, and this is a great place to be. You are in faith with the divine to know that whatever happens is for your highest and best good.
Right. Yeah. Because I know if I do anything that is in that shadow energy, the divine is going to have its way with me. And I went down that road too many times to know that I don't want to deal with the punishment behind that.
Now, is this a lease for the place that you're at? And so like you're debating, it's still up in the air that you would stay or go?
Yes.
Okay.
And when anything is this chaotic or challenging, there's my answer right there. I don't have to go looking for any more signs or trying to figure out weighing my options. The option is already given. There's a change of hands. It's chaos. You can't get the truth, or the truth hasn't been presented to you.
Right.
So why should I carry this on? It's like, okay, decision made. Hug and release that shit, you know, release it. As
I think I'm in a similar space right now because I'm like, okay, it's up in the air right now whether I'm going to be allowed to sit in my authenticity and stay, or I'm going to have to take my authenticity and put it in a little bag on a stick and walk down the road.
well, you know, it's important for you to be authentic and move in an authentic way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got that down pat.
When this cycle present itself again, because it will, that's just the way how this universe works. It works in patterns and cycles. And I didn't make up the rules. You know, I'm subjected to it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll present itself again. But this time with you being in your authentic energy, like I am going to be when it shows its face to say, hey, are you going to stay? Are you going to go? Well, your authentic self is going to ask the questions. Can you do this, this, and this? Am I allowed to be blah, blah, blah? And if you can't, you know, you're going to be walking down that street. And you know, this is how the divine blesses you on either decision, as long as you're in your authentic self. You know,
I'm feeling it. I feel good. I'm being heard right now and seen. Feels good. And everything is in alignment right now. But I know, as well as anybody who is walking the path of God, that it can change in a moment.
yeah,
It can change your whole entire life could shift in a blink of an eye.
yes.
And if you do practice with the divine, you know this whole life is just a blink of an eye.
Just like
And it's so crazy.
40 years ago, you know, 40 years ago, it's a blink.
So I want to pull a card, but I'm letting go of the herb deck for a while. And I brought down some darker energy decks. So I'm gonna have you pick it by 1, 2, or 3. Hold on, let me see what 1, 2, or 3 is. Okay, so pick a number 1, 2, or 3.
3.
I already knew. I love that. Yeah, this is good. I'm fucking on fire right now. Okay. Which also could blink, which also could change in a blink of an eye. You're like, I'm on fire, yeah. Then you're like, oh fuck, I fell off the beam. I can't get back on. I used to be, oh, shit. I used to be really scared of all of the dark,
Mm.
which uh, which led me to sorry, which led me to learning about the dark.
Yeah.
So there was a purpose for it, but one time I was out on a jet ski.
Uh-oh.
I was out on a jet ski with my sister and this dude that was helping us with the jet ski. And so there were three of us on the jet ski, and we're in the ocean, right? And I mean, I'm already scared we're on the freaking jet ski, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm doing this. And what do you know? He turns a corner too quickly and we all fall off the jet ski.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did not walk on water and step on both of their heads to get back on the jet ski, I'm not even kidding. They were so angry with me. They were like, dude, dude, you like destroyed us. And I have many, many stories of my fear of the dark. I used to pay my sisters to sleep with me until I was like a very old teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And what's another good scare of the dark? Oh my God, there's just so many. I can't. Okay, so go ahead.
I was just the opposite. I was actually born in the dark, not by my doing, So I've always had to maneuver around the dark. And
It's interesting because the spirit keeps giving me a message about our relationship, and it keeps telling me that we're like two sides of a coin. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay. And we're ready. We have aligned to where we can come together. And I saw this or heard it somewhere where there is a time when two parallel lines meet.
yeah.
And you can see this when you create a picture with train tracks and horizon point,
Mm-hmm.
And so that when two linear type of paths meet, that's kind of how. And then it's interesting because you never know what's on the other side of that. They could just stay at that horizon point, and who knows how long they'll just stay with that picture for a bit, or they'll move past the picture and go two separate ways. But that's the beauty of allowing the natural unfolding of life and not holding on to things that shouldn't be held on to.
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to, okay, they just said pick the top card. The bridge.
Yeah, which a bridge also has the same horizon as a train track. A bit of a difference. It's not until you're crossing it that you realize that you're on the other side.
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely can be a bit of an illusion too, like a bridge, almost even like oh man, and I went through some underground bridges. Those are crazy. And it's almost like an illusion, like when you're riding a roller coaster and you never know, like kind of, yeah. So yeah, I can see that. All right, so XXXB, where the hell are we? XXX. There we are. The connection, the link, the gate. Bridges are built to connect two worlds. They create flow, allowing us to travel between realms, ideologies, and personalities. This archetype is the gesture of acceptance, of saying yes rather than withdrawing, separating, and saying no. When we cross a bridge to an unknown land, we are led magically into a new reality. We open up to otherness. Healing and communication are made possible. We enter a state of curiosity, wonder, and learning. The shaman, for example, creates the bridge between the everyday world and the sacred. This card asks us to study the connections between seemingly disconnected parts of our life, relationships, ideologies, and histories. Remember that a bridge cannot be forced. It must be made with love, or its structure will not withstand the inevitable weather of life. And there's two little side notes. One is imagine a bridge. No, imagine building a bridge, then imagine building a wall. Which energy is needed for the situation at hand? Which image softens and heals the heart? And I do feel like this whole energy that is my old sister energy. I'm just creating a bridge everywhere, and on the bridge, it might be a place of meeting, or we could just be passing each other by. And I do feel this with this specific energy. I feel like it's definitely a passing by, but this time we're not going to throw our tacos out the window at each other. Okay, there's another little side note, and it says, lie on the floor and listen to Bridge Over Troubled Water. Notice the ease and acceptance within the melody, the feeling, and rising above the muck. When light, acceptance, magic, communication. When dark, lacking boundaries, forcing connection. Go deeper, bit for, I don't know, whatever. The burning rainbow bridge of Norse mythology. Maybe I'll look that up later. So yeah, I have been both light and dark in this, and probably no, I'll say it's. I feel like I'm equally. I think in my early days it was I thought I was doing light work, but really I was doing dark work because I was being forceful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And force takes a shit ton of energy.
It does.
And I'm tired.
It's draining.
I am tired. I think it goes back to you and your energy and what you've been saying recently. And this is a good mantra and a good thing to have in my mind, which is go have fun.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
Go outside and play.
Go play. Yeah. Go play.
Yes, exactly. It's necessary. You have to have it. And yeah. I don't want to say the next thing because I'm going to give it away, and I'm not ready to give it away yet. So
you always got those cute little gifts inside you, don't you, Dad? I love that. I love that about you. I love that you listen to your inner spirit, inner world. And, some things are just meant to be kept until they're ready to come out. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I love that. I love the mystery of the feminine. It's amazing. It's amazing place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've been doing, I'm vowing actually to do more ritual, more ceremony with the elements, with my body, because I feel like I feel like since we just passed the full moon, I feel like I just need to really concentrate on exhaling right now.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to hear about your 3-month journey is going to be like.
So if you want, what we could do is, and I could share I could share mine too, parts of mine. Um, but if you want, I could pull one up for you too. And it is really spot on. So if you want to know what's going on for the next 3 months, the summer for you, I could do, um, I could just throw it all in an email for you. So ultimately, right, it's not, I would just have to drum up a chart and then ask ChatGPT, like research a bunch of shit. It's a little bit of work, but the majority of the work is going over it. And so it would be an equal exchange if I just put it all in email and sent it to you. And then if you wanted to share some things about it, but I can share a little bit about mine. Let's see. God, I have so much shit in here. Can't. Okay. So I started where I started was I wanted to know a little bit about my sun and my ascendant, right? Because everybody always talks about that. They're like, I'm a blah 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 with this rising, right? And I did not approach astrology until I was in my 30s. And so like people would say that stuff all the time, and I was too interested in like the next line of cocaine or or where I was gonna, who I was gonna be with next, right? Or whatever. Like I was in the shadow and I was living
your transparency.
Oh, I was partying. Like that was just my life. Like every day was a party. Every day. I don't know how I survived, to be honest. But anyways, so my sun is in Libra with a rising of Capricorn in the sidereal astrology. And Libra is all about justice and fairness. And the sun is about, your guiding light. It's what drives you. And your ascendant is how you approach life. And so, let's see, what did they say? Oh, okay. So transiting stuff, themes around empowerment, radiant magnetism, creative leadership, and my sacred service. Strong time to attract attention, love, opportunity in my public role because I have a lot of stuff in my 10th house. I am a born leader. That's what I do. And my path was in uncovering the shadow. And so now I get to be a leader and uncovering the shadow and the masses to the world. And so in the next couple of months, I'm going to have downloads in order to be very clear with that. And I'm not wavering on, and I don't have any fear around it anymore, right? I used to have thoughts that I would, well, I had a lot of experiences tied to Jesus, the Jesus wound, where you speak your truth and you are stoned to death. I used to see myself being stoned to death, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so I don't care anymore. Whatever. You want to stone me, stone me. There's nothing else for me except for the truth at this point. So I will die for the truth. And so there's that. And it talks a little bit about my Mercury and Sun, which is expect insights and expressions around my purpose to crystallize, may come with public speaking, writing, or alignment of the truth. Then it talks a little bit about my Mars, which is Libra could bring a power surge, especially around late August when it approaches my natal sun. Be mindful of burnout, but use this for action taking and putting your vision into the world. And so that's why I have my mind in the place of like making sure I'm having the grounding, the ritual and ceremony, because and that was and I mean there's just pages and pages that I went through this morning, but it did come to like I'm going to have a clarity around how to present myself in the eye of the world and how to not die while doing that.
Okay, now when you say not die and during that, give our viewers a little bit more of a inside viewpoint of that, simply because there's a lot of misunderstanding around death,
Okay.
a lot of it, and I see this with some people that has wanted readings done for me. And it is such a slippery road when you're speaking about death, the devil energy, and the tower. And so, yeah, from your perspective, go ahead and give our viewers a little bit more of a perspective on it.
Until you can create a process in any death in your life, whether that is physical, emotional, mental, or spiritually based. So, meaning there's even a death in every single day when you go to bed and then when you wake up in the morning. And so there's a beginning and an end to everything, but then again, there's no beginning and or end. So kind of gets a little confusing there. But for the purposes of this, what I was saying about not dying for me, so I had to define what death is for me. I think that is the root of it. And so if somebody says death and you have the construct built from what you've been taught and not what you've experienced, then there is going to be fear there because you don't really know.
Yeah, it's presented in the most ugly way to me.
And so for me, what I meant when I said I don't want to die by during, this rise in being seen and heard and public, I guess you would call it public notoriety, but the 10th house is all about reputation and all that stuff. Is being seen and heard and power can go right to your head. Go right to your head, right? And so like when I think about power and ego and all of that stuff, I think everybody would like to say that that they can humbly sit with a lot of stuff and things and all of that stuff, but for me, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
And I have gone through the recovery world where there was specific things that helped me understand how to harness a lot of power and a lot of money, we'll say, and all at the same time only have what you need, and the rest of it is in a constant cycle of devotion to the highest and best good for all. because I am an individual, but at the same time, I am part of the whole. And so anything that I have is not just mine, and I am the steward of this stuff. And so when you have a lot of stuff coming in, you can get lost in that and you can die to the stuff,
Yeah,
whether it's power or material.
it really messes with your joy codes, and it start, you know, you start your innocence start dying for wholeness, you know. That's yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for me, and this was interesting. Okay, so I wanted to just touch on one of the things that I learned, which we called it a prudent reserve, which means that the prudent reserve is, like 3 months rent and something, like it's a specific amount of money or value that you keep so that, you have boundaries and you're protecting yourself. But outside of that is like, how can we make this the most useful for the most people, and, and also serve. And so I feel like that kind of comes into play somewhere, and I don't know exactly um what that looks like, because ultimately, right, I have my, the thing that I'm the curator of is called the mother house, and I feel like the mother herself needs a, she needs love. So whatever that looks like, that would probably be kind of where the committee of minds come together and have a primary purpose to devote that to that. And that's not up to me to fully, it's just, it will unfold according to the divine. And the other thing is, this is so interesting. So there was a general, I heard this once, and somebody said there's a story of a general, and to keep his ego in check, he would pay somebody to like tell him, you know, that, like you're too big for your britches right now or whatever, right? Like to kind of keep him in check. And he would pay somebody for that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like that is why I have the grounding ceremony and the rituals, because I want the divine to keep me in check, because that is for me, that is like where I get the deepest direction. I get direction from all different places, but and for me that is not a war god, nor is it the crucified Christ. That for me is, well, there's okay. Maybe it's the Mother Earth right now, because what I'm getting a lot of right now coming in of her children, which are the elements, air and fire and water and earth. And so
and either that's all I forgot.
Yeah. And so a lot of my visionary work on like God, between me and God, it's a heart at the end, at the center of everything, and it's just like a point in I guess I'll say in the beginning of time and space that created the pattern of love, but I still don't know. And so I would say that it's a feeling.
Yes. That I totally agree with that. Your heart, it's internal. It's for you and what you love and what you enjoy. And it just so happens that it keeps the pulse going for that frequency, that vibration to move outwardly, you know, so you can connect it with other things that you enjoy and love. And it makes life intentional versus the way how it is now. I mean, I see so much complaining and griping and misery and entitlement. And it's all projected. It's not going inward, because if it was inward, we would be having a different conversation than with most of the people that I meet versus who they're trying to uh, lay blame on or cast, guilt, shame, their misery on. And that is it's unfortunate that it has to happen that way, but
Necessary.
that creates a job for us, to go in and help people resolve those issues and come up with healthy solutions and remove blockages and make space so they can receive everything that they've always want and dreamed, because it is possible. I have testimonies. I have people who I've impacted and um, just impacted in over a lifespan,
I feel
and yeah,
I feel that. I feel like when you get to sit in the sacred space with people's hearts and you watch them clear out things, right? Like it can go through some hardships, but what I see and I'm sure that this is what you're kind of alluding to, is that at, always get to this place where it's deeper within themselves, and it's like you can see the joy, even if you can just see the joy come
yeah.
through.
New joy codes are activating.
Yeah.
You can't move forward in your life on the old blueprint. You have to involve other people, other professionals, other communities to help you get here from there,
Yeah, you know what it is that I've never seen anybody who has, when they are wanting to create a shift and get more heart-centered and more whole, I've never seen anybody say that didn't work.
Right.
But I have seen people say that didn't work, and you can tell that they're in a place where they don't want it. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to change. They don't want to do that stuff. And all you can say is that's okay. Like if you don't want to do the work, that's okay. At
Right.
the same time, expect to just be in that same cycle, same circle. And some people want to be there, but some people want to evolve and they want to enter new patterns into their life, and they want to move with the changing of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to she wants to shake her booty, and she wants to like move her body, and she wants to transform, and she wants to do new things, and she doesn't want to um hold on to grandma's wounds. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Or she's ready to let that shit go and like live in the present moment.
Right. Yep. And the hardest thing about that transition is that it's unknown. And when it's new and unknown, it creates a fear. And that's when a guide steps in and shows you the way. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier than what people think, or they feel as though, well, I want to, but I don't know how to get started.
And that's why there's so many of us, you know, being called to like
Help this transition.
speak out and be seen, and like, and it, you know, and I do think that when you go through the social these days and stuff, it can be a bit overwhelming. Like, well, I don't know, how do I, right? I want to, and so, you know, it's just what are you attracted to, right? Like if you're attracted to signing on another exercise program, or if you're attracted to, you want to get down and dirty with your nutrition, or if you're attracted to energy work, or if you want it all, I mean, you know, ask yourself, ask your body, ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I feeling that I need, right? Because if you ask yourself in your mind, what do I want? It's going to be like, I don't want none of those things. I want to eat pizza and go to the
It's a vicious cycle. Yeah. Start asking yourself, how do I align with this? How do I make growth in my life? How do I create change in my life? How do I embrace loving myself enough without any conditions? You know, these are valid questions that we don't know how to ask.
And the thing too, I want to just add is that when you ask the how, you have to give it a chance to answer, right? Because if you haven't developed a practice to have this dialogue, you're
recognize it when it comes in.
Yeah, and your mind is going to go right to the next thing.
Yeah.
And so you have to continually like come back and even just like maybe bring in some breath, right? Some inhales and exhales, and say, I don't want to rush you. Let's just give it some time to see. And because for me, a lot of times, because I am adept to wanting to rush stuff like that, so a lot of times I'll get mixed messages and it'll be like, yes, no, I don't, right? And so like I always used to have a hard time with like muscle testing and stuff, because my muscles were completely confused and it didn't know how to deliver messages either. And so I had to really say, I'm going to wait for the one side to be clear. And then it would like come into a no, 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 or yes, 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 yes. And then I knew kind of what direction, right? And so don't give up on yourself. I guess that's the message there.
Surrender. So that pretty much wraps up our hour. We went over just a little bit there, but it's a well-needed conversation to have. Yeah, I'm grateful for this experience.
Me too.
Yeah. So anyway, I am Tagg, and a little bit more about me and my practice will be in the description below. And of course, my lovely co-star, co-host, well, yeah, she's Star, had to write the first time, is Tracy Constantine with the Mother House. And her information is also in the description below. And so we will catch you next video.
Yay.